Archjaws. We're gentle beings and they do torture us so, but I'd love to see Wayfast come out on this Pharah. There's quite a bit of cover that you can utilize here on the Sanctuary, because around this central sort of structure, I'm not sure what you'd traditionally call that. Do you know what you'd call that kind of structure? Whatever it is, it has a reasonable amount of vertical cover for a Pharah to use.
Yeah, it does. I can't remember what
I don't think it's a pagoda. Is it a gazebo?
I don't know. There's probably a special Korean word for it. That I do not know. I'll look it up after this game, Harry, just for you.
Thank you very much. Resident research expert coming through here, but Resident Goats experts on the side of OnePoint going to be rolling out with the classic Goats Jaws, Scalar on the Moira, meaning that they probably expect to go up against some DPS, so they've got that higher amount of healing available, up to 400 HPS with 80 HPS onto up to 5 targets.
Look how much mobility Orgless and Hungry have, though. They got Sombra and the Pharah way fast, doing a good job of pummeling the front line. Scalar with no fade away, was taken out by Latex. That damage boost coming through from FD God also on way fast. He's building that up so quickly, 60% already. OnePoint, are they going to change off this? Maybe they switch over to a Zenyatta. There we go. There's the switch up, in fact, to deal a little bit more damage to way fast in the air.
And like you talked about, the lack of fadeaway available for Scalar is fantastic, because that was due to Olu having a hack on him, and that means that he can't get away. Not very many ways to defend himself. But of course, no longer will there be a Moira, there will be a Zen on the field, and Hardest has moved over to McCree. He was originally a hit scan DPS player before the kind of 3-3 meta came into play, so we'll love to see some more of that.
Early rocket barrage right on top of the bubble. The bubble disappears, but so does Wayfast. Hardest and Wayfast end up trading, but still in control of the point. Orgless and Hungry up to 25%. OnePoint trying to make their way in now. They are going to be able to touch this point for the brief time, and with Hardest being alive now, he's going to get back to the point rather quickly. Wayfast switching over to the Widowmaker, however. We'll see how much of an impact that's actually going to be in a second. Still dueling out on the point. They're trying to just focus down the ball right now, but the hamster just gets away in time.
OnePoint does have the ability to hide behind the central drum to stay away from the sightlines of the Widowmaker, but for now it does look like Superplute's going to need some healing. Latex going in.
Yeah, Scalar's going to have to pop the Transcendence. Those mines do come out also. You can destroy the mines in the Transcending form and dealing absolutely 0 damage to yourself as you are immortal. Emil gets demeched and instantly dispatched with, as Holthick does find the kill. Wayfast switching over to the Widowmaker here. Long sight lines, good up against the McCree, but OnePoint, they do one thing and that very well, and that's run dive tanks straight into your backline. You've got to be very careful. As soon as Fat has that speed boost, that Widowmaker is good as dead.
Yeah, Fat's just going to roll everyone on onto that Widowmaker. And of course, the overshield available from the Sandbar is incredibly effective against the burst damage that Wayfast can throw at you. FD God does have a Valkyrie ready to go, so everyone can have that 30% damage boost should they catch out someone like Superplute. That looks like exactly what's occurring here.
Well, he is going to activate it, and that EMP is going to come out too on the front line. Getamaze in a lot of trouble. Can't use that self-destruct as that hack is on his mech. Hardest did use the high noon, but everybody's scurrying for cover. Misses a couple of shots on the side as well. That could be quite vital, actually, as Cass didn't need to nade himself and still has that nano available. Wayfast is going to be able to kill Getamaze, who was ejected from the mech with no self-destruct there, and Hardest is going to hit the floor as well.
Actually, we saw Hardest roll forward, try to flashbang and fan the hammer onto Hardest, but unfortunately lost the duel due to some help coming through from Wayfast.
There's the Transcendence, help for OnePoint this time, keeping him alive on the point, with Hardest switching over to his Widowmaker of his own. FD God using the Mercy mechanics, holding that E key, is going to be able to get Wayfast up and ready to rock and roll once more. Still in control of the point at OnePoint though, 57% now, matching Orgless and Hungry this time. Latex going extremely low, 2% away from the Primal Rage. All he needed to do was survive a little bit longer, but this fight is all but won by OnePoint.
Very back and forth fight right there, but OnePoint were in control the whole time. Hardest going to win out that Widow duel as well, means that it's going to be a while before Orgless and Hungry are back up to full strength, and they're in one fight territory right now. Jaws, OnePoint only needs to defend this once to claim the Sanctuary, and this is possibly one of the most friendly maps on Busan for the DPS compositions, ever being downtown, mecha base, far more geared towards those tanks, so they don't want to be going there against OnePoint.
Well, look at the win conditions here for Orgless and Hungry. They do have that EMP available, as well as that nano boost onto Latex if he needs it. The nano boost comes out, Latex going extremely colourful, and with Olu now
damage
having that ultimate available to him as well, Latex can play a little bit more aggressive. Getamaze gets demeched on the Diva, and a beautiful bio grenade from Cash actually in the back line stops a lot of that healing. A massive bomb from Emil too, wiping out Hardest. They might just be able to win the fight in OT, but like you said, one fight territory now for Orgless and Hungry. They cannot falter, not just the slightest.
It was expensive as well. 4 ultimates used there by Orgless and Hungry to try and survive here. Castable was incredibly low, but managed to pick himself up a health pack, and still OnePoint are trailing back. Need to get rid of these trailed spawns from OnePoint. Orgless and Hungry do manage to take control, and they need to carry on for maybe 1 or 2 fights here, Jaws, and potentially they can claim Sanctuary. But look at OnePoint and that ult bank. They've got 6 ready to go. This is going to be incredibly difficult. They need to take advantage of Orgless and Hungry now when they're in this recovery state.
They didn't need to win that fight, Harry, at all. They can just forego it and just save the ultimate bank discharge ults for as long as possible. 2 have been popped in the sights and the rally as they do move it onto the point. Superluke still has that primal rage he can use in the back line when necessary, but FD God doing a good job of supporting his supports. That'll be cast with the nano boost available, but a primal raging Winston boots everybody up in the air. Get amazed with a vanilla self-destruct. He was popping them off all last week, and he's going to continue that trend. Latex is going to get taken out by Fat, and now 1Point solidifying themselves on the point as that Transcendence and the beat keep them alive. A 1,000 HP Superfluke is not going to be taken out all so easily by Emil. Gets demeched, and that will be 1Point securing the point and Sanctuary.
You can see Superfluke and Get Amazed leveraging that long-term synergy they built up over their time on that championship winning team from Season 2. Get Amazed gives over the information. This is where my bomb's going to land. Superfluke, he knows exactly where to beat these guys forward to put them in the area of effect. So 2 picks come through onto both the Ana and the Widowmaker, and FD God can't resurrect both of them. And not only that, they died where Hardest has a sightline. So when FD God starts to res, he gets headshot by Hardest, and then they're still down 2.
Old Mercy used to be able to. Rest in peace, Old Mercy. I'm thinking about you, Dre.
Can't be resed, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not.
Can't res yourself.
That'd be incredibly broken if you could. Can you imagine that actually if you just died somewhere like randomly and then
have like a death switch on some defibrillators that are just like sellotaped to your chest?
You just pop right back up. I'm alive, guys. I'm okay.
I'm back.
Wayfast still actually on the Pharah in Mecha Base. Okay,
beautiful.
Not a very high ceiling, but beautiful bio grenades stopping a lot of that healing coming through onto 1Point. They're going to have to scurry rather quickly as Wayfast once more being pocketed by FD God is going to be able to do a lot of damage in the front line, but Scalar actually taking out Olu somehow. Nice couple of headshots do net 1Point a kill and net them the point as well.
Yeah, Latex had to scurry away rather quickly as well. Hardest managed to get a flashbang onto him, get a couple of headshots, so the Weasel had to run away, and now so are Orgless and Hungry shying away from that particular composition. They are going to be going for this kind of dive and lots of support composition. 3-3. They've got the Winston here. They've got the Diva, so they can left in the back line that is Hardest and Scalar.
So protect the McCree comp for 1Point. He's got to stay alive. He's got the Deadeye. Is he going to be able to get a couple of kills? Normally in pro play, you will see 1 Deadeye kill is more than enough to win a team fight, and it's more than acceptable. But Cass,
the sniper himself.
The sniper just picked him off. I thought that bubble actually landed as well, protecting Hardest. Apparently not. I'm surprised as much as he is, I'm sure. Olu actually taking out Horthic, his like for like also. That'll be Orgless now on the point just contesting. Pretty easy team fight. As soon as you wipe out Hardest, they don't have really anything to back them up. Obviously, they haven't got a Zaya in that comp. Hardest has been swapped out onto the McCree, and they lose that quite handily.
Latex got huge value there on the Winston. So much cleave being delivered, and 1Point don't want to be playing with that McCree anymore. They are going to be moving over to the classic 3-3. They do have the Zen, they do have the Reinhardt. So they've got like consistent shielding between themselves and the Orbs of Cast. You can see already, Latex has come in, but he's found himself very much isolated. Will be forced to pop the Primal Rage.
Yeah, Latex has to be very careful in that situation. He gets discorded, he's going to go down extremely quickly. All the cleave damage coming through from Hardest right click, and obviously Superfluke with that giant hammer. Got to be extremely careful. He doesn't want to charge those ults up. Superfluke already at 50%, Hardest at 30 on his ultimate. The Vanilla Bomb comes through. Wayfast going to be able to block that himself, but Latex not quite so lucky. In fact, 1Point are going to actually flip the point in this instance too.
Yeah, they do very much have more point presence with that more permanent shielding. There goes FD God.
That was a nice right click. Yeah, tracked him perfectly.
Like, one of the reasons you do play this Reinhardt is because you can consistently contest the point when you can move around with that shield, whereas we saw Latex, he laid down his shield rather early when he was forced to retreat to the point after using the Primal Rage, and that meant that he didn't have it available for a longer contest afterwards, and also he couldn't use it to block the incoming damage from Get Amazed self-destruct.
Well, Orcs Hungry, we've got a wealth of the ult bank. There's Graviton Surge, there's the self-destruct, the combo, Giganti Bomb, pulling off by Emil. Thank you very much. 4 kills for him, and the rest get cleaned up. Perfect team kill for Orcs Hungry. 2 ults thrown in. 5 kills come out. 6 kills come out.
Gravedigger's going to be working a midnight shift after he's finished this match to find some holes in the ground to put those guys in. Beautiful 4K right there. Not only that, Latex with a perfect charge for removing Superfluke and ensuring that shield could not be used. Not only that, they took advantage of Hardest trying to farm energy on the first engagement so that those projected barriers weren't available.
Oh man, Wayfast got completely baited there. He went in. Everybody ran away, turned their backs to him, ran straight back round. That'll be a beat to answer the Graviton Surge. There wasn't actually a bomb available for them. No self-destruct from Get Amazed just yet. Only at 75%, but Superblue does have that shatter. He's going to have to duel it out with Latex, who's close to his 2. The hammer hits the floor, and only 1 does follow. Latex jumping forward to try and help Olu, but he does end up going down eventually. And a beautiful swing of the hammer and a right click from Wayfast instantly kills off Horthick. Latex falling and get a mace, finding another vanilla bomb onto Emil. He's going to have to reset himself here as 1Point. They're going to be able to control the point.
Emil there misjudged the angle of the explosion. It knocks his mech off of the off into the sea, and of course the Pollitt joined them. But that's actually very good from Olu there. We do see 1Point almost able to claim the entirety now of Mecha Base. Ultimate Hungry once again in that 1-fight territory. But Olu there, he actually managed to block Horthick on his entry when he was trying to go for that stun shatter combo. So Superblue only managed to stun out Olu himself when he wanted so much more from that combination.
Fast wraparound coming through from August Hungry. They managed to get the flip in time. 1Point couldn't actually touch. Okay, so now August Hungry can build up to that 99%. 1Point have that Graviton Surge. Hardest chucks it in. The Shadow's going to come out in response, but it's not going to be enough. A beat and a Transcendence as well thrown in. There's the Graviton Surge from August Hungry as well. The Shadow hits the floor. It hits 4 people, but the barrier comes up just in time to protect all the damage coming in. Superblue is kept alive in the front line as Hardest finds 2 kills initially. That bomb's going to have to be huge. Doesn't quite land as Hardest was there with his own personal barrier to soak up all the damage. Scaler finds Wayfast. That'll be 1Point. Clearing off August and Hungry. Jumping onto some emergency picks as well as Latex comes in on the hamster. Too little too late though as 1Point kill him off so handily.
And that was such a huge outplay there from Superblue, managing to block the incoming shatter.
99% to 99. Orgless found the flip in the end, but it's 1Point who are going to find Busan.
And Superblue there managed to build up his shadow remarkably quickly, because we talk about cyclical ult generation when it comes to these 3-3 compositions. And when you got 4 people in the grab, Superblue's like, you know what, I'm probably going to need the Earth Shadow to finish out this fight, so I'm going to play this more aggressively. Swings through a Graviton, gets like 30% charge per swing, swings through it twice, has the Earth Shadow ready to go, can do the counter there. Because at the start he blocked out Latex, because Latex wanted to lay down that Shadow in order to try and make sure there was no way that they could really follow up after the Graviton.
Apparently they don't need the Diva bombs on the side of 1Point.
Just swing, dude.
Getamaze is also very good at vanilla Diva play. Just saying. He throws in the bomb. He always seems to get at least 1 or 2 kills. Most importantly, actually, on that last fight, he actually managed to get the Diva mech of Emil. And that, with the Diva disappearing there, there's no real stopping all the damage that's incoming from the Zarya, from the right clicks from the Zarya, and obviously the Zen damage as well. 1Point though, taking Busan does mean that Orgless and Hungry do get their map choice, but we're going to find out what that is after the break. Hey guys, welcome back. Game number 2 on your screens very soon. One.PoinT versus Orgless in Hungary. One.PoinT taking Busan 2-0. Looks pretty good for them so far. And one thing we have noticed, especially in Season 3, this map pool is very much more open when it comes to compositions you can run. A lot more DPS players available.
Yeah, you can bring out the Junkrat on one of the maps that we have in our hybrid pool is Hollywood, and famously a lot of Junkrat play been brought out, especially by Sardis on HSL, but we'll have to see where we're going. We'll be Hollywood. Question is, what are we going to see? We don't really know OWC's hero pool yet. He showed off the Sombra on Sanctuary to start off with, moved over onto that Brigida. It was actually a pretty good Brigida. He managed to very much mitigate Horthic's attempts to stun out his Reinhardt, managing to face tank a load of those shield bashes, which is really what you should be doing as a Brigadier. You really have to protect your Reinhardt in the 3-3 composition. As ironic as it is, that's what needs to happen to try and mitigate those stun shatters.
She is in the support category.
We will be your shield.
Well, that's it, right? She is in the support category, yes. But
emotional support for Reinhardt.
She creates so much space for the Reinhardt, because you've got to think how often that shield stun is.
6 seconds?
6 second cooldown. Which
used to be 5 seconds.
Yeah, they did.
And when it was 5 seconds, that was a 20% uptime on a stun, because the stun is 1 second long.
It's insane.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But like, think about that just then, right? Because Horthic, and the key, it seems to be one of the better Brigitte players, and we saw it in the first match of the day, is just being very aggressive. We've already seen Dan at how aggressive he can be in a team like Hurricane, where they have Numlocked, who equally likes to play as aggressive as he can on the Reinhardt. We're seeing that already from Orgless in Hungary.
But One.PoinT do suspect Orgless in Hungary will come out with these DPS characters, which is why we see Scalar on the Moira. For that additional healing, you can take those fights where you can be healed up a lot, whereas you usually go for the Zen if you need the additional damage of the Discord or to really confirm kills onto tanks.
Orgless in Hungary looking like they're running the same composition they did before. Way fast on the Pharaoh. They really like this into One.PoinT's static Goats composition. I say static Goats composition, it's not really, because Pharaoh's going to speed them all into people.
Essentially, they learned from Shoes Money Crew, who tried to focus hardest with Zeal's Pharaoh.
You got to focus hardest, man, or focus Getamaze. That's also a very, very good target. They were both crammed up in that corner, to be fair. Getamaze Mech ends up going down. Olu is going to trade his life for it, however. Hardest staying alive, just making sure he's around that mega health pack to give a little less pressure to his healers. However, does look like way fast. Just dipping down onto the point is going to be extremely hard to take out the air now, as there is no mech available for One.PoinT.
Latex very much caught out on the engage there. There was a shield bash coming through from Horthic, and for now it seems like Scalar's keeping everyone topped up.
Ooh,
what a rotation. Yeah. Ooh, super blink for Sniper. Fire Snipe right there.
That's a 180. He was like, what is killing me? Then they just see 3 people
literal Icarus
boost up on the high ground.
Just got burned from flying.
Yikes. Well, he does have a Rocket Barrage available to him now as well, and Cass also has that Nano Boost.
Indeed he does. I'll have to see what the choice is here. You can actually Nano Boost the Pharah, and it can do 6,000 damage, because that means you are releasing 100 rockets that do 60 damage each. And 6,000 damage, for those of you who don't know Overwatch, is a lot of damage. And of course you will have 50% damage reduction, so you have 400 potential.
They also have EMP coming online as well. An EMP straight into a Nano Barrage. Your DV is useless, your Ride is useless. This seems like the perfect combination right now. Uh-oh, that's pretty good too, though. Yep. That Graviton Surge on the high ground. A beautiful rotation once again by One.PoinT. In fact, using that speed boost to surprise everybody, because they are hiding around this corner. Wayfast is actually up on the high ground here. He can't always see what is going on in that small corridor. So that small speed boost is a very quick travel time straight up the stairs. Graviton Surge, easy team.
Yeah, and you can see here Orgless in Hungary, they haven't been together as a team for so long, because Olu's newly introduced, and it seems like One.PoinT are very much taking advantage of the fact that Orgless in Hungary are taking time to make decisions. They've got 6 ultimates, but they can't use them, because if you get both DPS and a grab, that is huge value against a composition that's usually so spread out. Olu and Wayfast useless in that. They just got mown down by One.PoinT, who only had to use 1 ultimate as well. So now it's 5 ultimates versus 6 ultimates. An ultimate showdown on the cards right here, Jaws.
Olu's looking to activate. Oh, spotted out. Yeah, he did indeed. There is the barrage still available to him, but not using it just yet. You can see Hardest maybe potentially waiting for the shield there, who didn't actually get EMP'd. There is going to be a minefield on the cart as well. Nothing happening just yet. No trades going backwards and forwards. Nano Boost still available, but 4 also been popped by Orgless in Hungary here. There's going to be 5 available gone for 1.2. The hammer hits the floor. Latex going to be able to get out in time. Wayfast receives the Nano Boost, but doesn't have the barrage just yet.
Oh, a little bit late on that. And there is a self-destruct in his face as well. Can't quite turn towards Hardest in time, but FD God still got his back, Jaws. They're trying to isolate Horthic.
Oh, Horthic tried to go up in there and make the solo hero play. Had to jump off. The Graviton Surge comes out, but hits absolutely nobody. Oh, FD God actually just dipped straight back in. Gedemace is going to be able to secure that kill. FD God didn't really know where it went and ended up slipping into the grab, just costing him his life. 40 seconds that remain, Harry.
Oh, right there. Orgless used 6 ultimates, but didn't really commit on any single engage. Just had a load of piecemeal attempts. So he had the nano barrage eventually, but Wayfast didn't lay out the barrage as soon as he was nanoed, so everyone had time to get into cover. Instead, he decided to throw out a couple of rockets here and there, doing 180 damage per. That's not quite enough, and here comes a Coalescence in the early engage from OnePoint.
Very smart use of the speed boost there by Fat to push them away. The farther they push them up here, the more Orgless and Hungry have to overstretch to get on the point.
They do. Someone's in the back, it's Latex, and he's going to be punished for that. Already incredibly low, will get himself a mega health bank, but Hardest here can go for the rotation. Here comes Horthic, trying to get the stun onto FD God, but he's going to force out the Valkyrie.
Latex going low, and the mines get laid on the point. We'll see a Super Blue. Uh-oh. Super Blue landed right in the middle of them. There's no way you're going to escape that. Barrage, Nano's available. We've got the EMP as well. Orgless and Hungry, this is very much winnable. You just have to continue staying on the point.
Nano Barrage, you fools. Do it. Where's the Nano?
They're waiting for Gedemace maybe to use those thrusters, I'm not sure. The Graviton Surge onto the point. There's the barrage finally. The Nano's going to get applied as well. Fat is going to go down. And Emil's mech is also going to fall. Gedemace is going to follow him also, but Olu going down. This might just be it. Wayfast finally coming online here. Managed to find at least one with the barrage, and Vanilla Rockets might just save the day. Gedemace falling, but still Hardest is alive somehow.
Hardest, I don't know how he's alive, but he also managed to hit a mortar there on Wayfast. FD God still healing him up, and Cass is dead in the back.
The healers are just getting absolutely rinsed. Horthic finding Cass, and Hardest still available on the point. Gedemace is switching over to the Soldier. I knew he wanted to play more DPS. OnePoint now rushing to the point to try and stay alive.
Oh,
one ticker just for the quiet, but no, Emil comes in with the triple kill. Self-destruct, but the fight is still going. The Coalescence now being thrown out by Scalar, keeping everybody alive and well in the front line, and Emil gets demeched again.
There's the minefield. Oh,
Gedemace! He got away! How did you get away? Oh, so nimble. He must take ballerina lessons as well. Horthic is going to get finally killed by Cass, getting a little bit of revenge. FD God jumping on his famous Lucio to kill Gedemace as well.
One pile driver for another. There comes through a massive nano grenade. There it is. Super Bluke's gone down as well. There's a seismic slam.
More flexing on the hero pool now coming out from Olu. The barrage to save the day. Wayfast killing off 2, and eventually, Orgless and Hungry secure the point.
What just happened, Jaws? I don't know. FD God's back on the Mercy. Orgless and Hungry want to double down on this Farah. Come on, guys. Just use a Nano Barrage. You got to get it out earlier. Just focus Hardest. But it's going to be hard to focus Hardest now because he does move over to that McCree. He does have a flashbang ready to go, and of course he can land those long-range hit scan shots onto Wayfast. He doesn't want any of that nonsense. Straight over to the Zaya. The question is, will Hardest stick with this? Protect from McCree comp, or Sheriff comp as I call it, because of the double stuns now on the side of OnePoint. Means that he can shut down Latex incredibly effectively should he move into their midst, but first Super Bluke's going to take the engage.
Super Bluke's going to angle himself in, but so is Latex, straight into the back line for him as well. He does get nano, but in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of stuns like you were mentioning in the front line, and Scalar did inflict him with a Discord Orb. Extra damage, pretty much from nullifying the nano boost damage resistance. He's going to just fall to Horthic, who's just pushing forward, marching on. I didn't mention earlier how aggressive these Brigittas can be, and it's a mark of a good Brigitte, knowing how aggressive you can be. Horthic is just one of the best.
Horthic very much denying the space around Latex. He's going to have Car swap over from the Ana onto the Zenyatta. He could have got a lot more point healing because of the Ana using that Bardic Rifle, which can deliver, I think, about 80 to 85 healing per second at 75 healing per shot, and she can do like 0.9 shots a second. So that's a lot of healing that can come through, but it does not account for the 30% extra damage you take when you're afflicted with a Discord Orb.
Oh, it's high noon for Hardest. The bubble does protect Latex for the time. Oh, he just chased him straight off the high ground.
That's a brave McCree.
No, no. Your personal Barrett? No. Zaya bubble? No. I'm just going to wait for it to run out, buddy, unfortunately. He kills one, and like I mentioned before, actually, on Mecha Base, if you just find one, more often than not, that's going to be a one-team fight. OnePoint still holding at the gate, and now 45 seconds remain on Orgless.
It's overtime play. That's a high-value Deadeye to get rid of that primary main tank that is for Winston. Means that it's so much harder for Orgless and Hungry to claim space. We're going to be trying to do that now with this potential for a Graviton Surge from Wayfast.
Oh, get him aced again with the vanilla bombs. He doesn't need the Giganti combo, man. He just throws it in, no worries. Speaking of Giganti combos, there's one right on top of OnePoint. Fat is going to go down, but not after Orgless and Hungry lay down that beat to continue their march forward. Fat actually died with his beat up, so one support ultimate is available for them when he does come back online.
Still, we do have a lot of charge on this side. Wayfast going to be bringing people down, but potentially with Deadeye can do so as well. Latex is down again, Jaws.
Here's another high noon. Where is he getting these from? I don't know. He's normally a fantastic Widowmaker. McCree is definitely in his arsenal too. He's fan the hammer. The roll into the fan the hammer. You can see Olu's like, what are you doing? Whip shots him, finally kills him. But OT is here. 1Point just need to win one fight in order for Orgless to be halted.
You know, Hardest wants to move over to that Torbjorn because evidently he is a fan of hammers, but for now, he will be on Vizaya. Matching Wayfast here, but Wayfast already halfway to his next grab. It's a wonderful parkour there. Who knew that she was such a mobile hero? The mortar jumps coming through to give her this high ground advantage. Superfluke's moved over to the Reinhardt, but so has Latex. Fat has the advantage now with a sound barrier, but Cast can answer it, and Emil is ready to once again bring out that self-destruct match. Get amazed.
Transcendence, straight into the self-destruct, up high, isn't going to be able to get anybody. Does not connect with Latex, who shields the rest of his team. A rally coming out from Orgless and Hungry as well as the fight does ramp up. Orthic dashes forwards and Latex ends up going down. Now Hardest is free to just churn up this mech. There's no way that you can survive this 100% energy. Zaya was on 50% ult charge not a moment to go. The hammer hits the floor, he might not even need the grab. The self-destruct is going to come through. The Gigantic Bomb not quite so successful. Superfluke is just attaching himself to this cart. Hardest is going to find FD God, and the self and the Graviton Surge needed in the end to drag Emil in, drag Wayfast through. Orgless and Hungry are halted on second point, and 1Point are going to find themselves in a very, very good situation.
And you wonder, when you think about what Orgless and Hungry said with their new roster, they don't want to play so much 3-3. And you wonder, with Latex so keen to play on the Wrecking Ball and on the Winston, how much practice do they have with the Reinhardt in this composition? Because there, it was very clear that Latex was the primary target of 1Point, and he wasn't able to be protected that well. They did try their utmost to keep him alive, but 1Point were just so much more focused on taking down that main tank, because after, like you said, Hardest was just drawing his initials into the mech of Orgless and Hungry, so he could just get so much ult charge so quickly.
Yeah, Emil had no chance. They even laid down the beat, and you could see how quickly that health bar was just chewed through.
Disintegrating.
He was on, I think, 50. He was on 40 to 50% when the fight actually started, and then, like you mentioned, as soon as that Rhine shield gets removed, hey, guess what?
It's
fair game, man.
Hardest has just got that big old grin on his face.
Yeah.
Ooh,
he should do, and he should do right now. Hopefully he does stick with this McCree. They are on offense, obviously they will probably change up, but we can talk about Orgless' defense here. Going for the double projectile this time around with a Hanzo and Farah.
To Wayfast here, I'll be interested to see where he does position himself. Of course, you can put yourself on these sloped roofs, and it does give you a little bit of vertical cover around which you can duck to try and avoid hit scan damage coming in. It's a pretty good defensive setup, but it does mean FD God, you demand a lot of his attention, and Cast is going to be a very, very juicy target with very little ability to peel from, with the exception of Emil with that defense matrix, and FD God's going to have to be on call to move over to Cast at all times, but that relies on Wayfast being in a place where FD God has the sightline to Cast as well, so they very much have to play here as a team if they want to get the most use out of FD God on this Mercy.
Okay, 1Point using a little bit of a scout there. Fat jumping onto the Hanzo to make sure no shenanigans are going on. The top left-hand cafe right here. And we are sticking with Hardest actually on the McCree. They know they're up against Wayfast on the far. Oh, I take that back. Okay, Horthic actually on the Genji. All right.
Well, Horthic was touted as a flex DPS. He has been in the break for a while, but now he's been released. Translocator there being spotted out, I imagine, has been taken down by Latex. He's only got like 5 health, so it doesn't take long with a Tester Coil to pick that one off. Wayfast deciding he's going to just have a little bit of a bird perch up here and rain down those little nasty bird flops from above.
That's one way to put it, Harry.
That's one way to put it.
Orthic going very, very low. Remember, Farah was changed recently. Does more damage, direct hit rockets right now. No one ready to contest him in the air. Hardest can get the hack off. Nice rockets, but beautiful fire grenade actually onto 3 members, making sure that Lucio healing speed is increased. Get amazing, going to take out Wayfast. I say that wasn't a counter, and actually, I take that back, Wayfast. I'm sorry, son. That'll be Emil taking out Superfluke as well. Orthic is going to land himself on the point here and might actually just claim a tick. He is. There's one sleeping Hanzo too. No one came to his rescue at all. They were like, you're on your own, mate. I'm sorry. Orthic almost earning himself a play too. He's 80% already. And Hardest is going to clean out the rest of the point. It's only Cash ready to defend. And he has one lonely Zenyatta up against the Genji and a Sombra.
Cast going to go down, and Hanzo sleeping there was probably the most budget reenactment of a Dragon cinematic I've ever seen.
Also on the wrong map, by the way. You're on a film set, though,
well,
I guess.
It's like double budget. This is like
double budget. They couldn't afford Hanamura, so they came to Hollywood. Well, the EMP does get launched out, but guess what instantly happens? Wayfast was like, nope. Rocket to the face, you're dead. Where are you going with that EMP? Hardest potentially switching up here. Yes, okay, so he's going over to the Widowmaker instead.
We'll have to see if Wayfast wants to stay on this Pharaoh. Of course, he is moving around this high ground so that he already can try and control the sightlines to allow potentially for Hardest to not get in a position where he can try and take those shots.
You can't let 1Point push too far up here. There's the Nano Blade. Straight onto the roof. Oh, no, he doesn't get him. Oh, he does. Only just FD God just slipping down into the waiting clutches of Hawk.
Press spacebar harder.
He found Ulu as well. Although Latex finding a kill onto Super Fluke is still even. It's still 2 dead for each team, but Super Fluke and Scalar are going to be back into the fight rather readily. A Transcender's coming out, not to save people from the Blade, but to actually push Horthic way back to his own spawn.
Yeah, at one point they're pretty happy to just maybe disengage this one after forcing out that particular ultimate. The Transcenders would have been incredibly useful, and now Cast can't even lay down these Discord orbs, so there's a huge advantage for 1Point's tank line.
They also have area superiority too, with Hardest now actually taking out way fast. They've not got long to go here. It needs to just go around this small corner, and Hardest now has a firing range in front of him.
He does. He will also have that grapple ready, so he can actually move after he gets aggressed upon, rather than having a preemptive grapple to try and claim the space. You can see Horthic here being incredibly sneaky, channeling his inner Cyber Ninja, trying to build up towards that Blade that can very much secure 1Point this particular point.
That's that beat, and Super has that Primal Rage. Throws it in, actually jumps straight back out. The 2-second cooldown on that leap when you are using that Primal Rage. Instantly almost going down, in fact. A Discord Orb doing a whole lot of damage, coupled with way fast and Ulu. There is the Nano Boost coming through for Scalar also as well, very soon. 10% away. Horthic's 20% away from his Blade. That is going to be a massive win condition. That beat might be all they need, though, as Latex dies on cart. Horthic is going to go down as well, but Hardest taking the game into his own hands. No one's touching the cart, however. Ulu almost gets to it on the Dragon Strike, but no, not today. 1Point end up securing Hollywood.
I think that might have been Olu's first Dragon Strike of the map as well. There was some great mitigation from the side of 1Point to make sure they weren't suffering at the hands of the Storm Arrows, whether it was by using natural cover, like the payload when pushing in that particular area, or they use defense matrices, or even just avoiding it and using the Winston shield. So that was great control of sightlines when they knew that there was so much control coming through on those particular sightlines due to the fire of Orgless and Hungry.
It's way more dangerous as well when Hardest wins that Widow duel. Hanzo can't necessarily duel the Widow as well. Your weapon isn't hit scan, although you can just try and plink a couple of arrows down the center street, but it isn't always going to guarantee you a kill. Hardest just taking over that game in the end, and 1Point end up with match point as well, 2-0 in the series. We're going to jump over to the desk though, and they're going to break down the game even more.